When I was a young boy, I had two fathers. One was highly educated, had a PhD, and worked for the government. The other had barely finished high school, but was one of the richest men in Hawaii. One dad worked hard for money. The other made money work for him. One told me to study hard, get a good job, and save money. The other told me to build businesses, invest in assets, and understand how money works. One believed that having a stable job was the safest way to success. The other believed that true security comes from financial independence. These two men had completely different beliefs about wealth, and their advice shaped the way I think about money today. Let me tell you how I learned the difference between being rich and being poor. When I was 9 years old, my best friend Mike and I wanted to become rich. We didn't know exactly how, but we knew we didn't want to be like most adults we saw, always stressed about money, always worried about bills. So we did what any kid would do. We tried to make money. We started by collecting toothpaste tubes, back when they were made of lead, and melted them to make fake silver coins. We thought we had discovered the secret to wealth. But when my father, my poor dad, found out, he scolded us. He told us we needed to study hard, get a good education, and find a good job if we wanted to be rich. That was his belief. Education leads to high-paying jobs, and high-paying jobs lead to wealth. But then I went to my best friend Mike's house. His father, my rich dad, laughed when he heard our story. He didn't tell us to study harder. Instead, he said, "If you want to be rich, you have to learn how money works." And that's when our real education began. Rich Dad didn't give us a textbook. He didn't sit us down and teach us theories about economics. Instead, he made us work. He gave us jobs at one of his stores, paying us just 10 cents an hour. At first, we were excited. We felt like grown-ups, earning our own money. But after a few weeks, the excitement faded. The work was boring. The pay was terrible. I was frustrated. I wanted a raise. I wanted to be paid more. So I went to Rich Dad and demanded more money. I told him I deserved to be paid better for my hard work. And do you know what he did? He laughed. Then he said something that changed my life forever. "The poor and middle class work for money. The rich don't work for money." I didn't understand at first. What do you mean, the rich don't work for money? Don't rich people have jobs? Don't they work hard too? That's when Rich Dad explained something most people never realize. Money is a trap. If you work for money, you become a slave to it. You spend your whole life chasing higher salaries, bigger paychecks, and job security. But no matter how much you earn, you never feel secure. You always need more. That's the rat race, and most people never escape it. My poor dad always said, "Get a good job and work hard." But what happens when you get a raise? You buy a new car, you upgrade your house, you start spending more, and before you know it, you need that job more than ever. You can't afford to quit. You can't afford to take risks. You become dependent on that paycheck. Rich Dad taught me that the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. Instead of working harder for a paycheck, the rich buy assets, things that generate income even when they're not working. A poor person earns money, spends it on expenses, and is left with nothing. A middle-class person earns money, buys a house and a car, thinking they're assets, and ends up with debt. A rich person invests money into real estate, stocks, businesses, and other assets that make them more money. That's the difference. That's the secret to escaping the rat race. Most people think that being rich is about having a high salary. But let me ask you this. If you lose your job today, how long can you survive? A month? 6 months? A year? Rich Dad taught me that true wealth is measured in time, not money. If you stop working today, and your assets keep generating income, you are financially free. But if your money stops the moment your job stops, you are financially trapped. Poor Dad said, "I can't afford it." Rich Dad said, "How can I afford it?" Poor Dad said, "Money is the root of all evil." Rich Dad said, "The lack of money is the root of all evil." Poor Dad played it safe. Rich Dad took calculated risks and learned from mistakes. And that's the real difference between the rich and the poor. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how you think about money. As I got older, I realized something heartbreaking. My poor dad, despite all his education and hard work, struggled financially for most of his life. My rich dad, despite having little formal education, became one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. Two different mindsets, two different lives. I was 9 years old when I first started learning about money, not from school, not from books, but from two men, my two fathers, who had completely different views on how to become rich. My poor dad, the one with a PhD, always told me, go to school, get good grades, find a safe, secure job, and work hard. But my rich dad, my best friend's father, said something completely different. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. That was confusing. I thought, what do you mean the rich don't work for money? Don't rich people have jobs too? But I was about to learn a lesson that most people never understand in their entire lifetime. At that time, I was eager to learn how to be rich. So, my friend Mike and I went to Rich Dad and asked him, can you teach us how to make money? He looked at us for a moment, then smiled. I'll teach you, but not in the way you expect. The next Saturday, he put us to work in one of his stores. Our job? Stocking shelves, sweeping floors, and doing basic tasks. He paid us 10 cents an hour. At first, I felt excited. I was earning my own money. But after a few weeks, the excitement faded. The job was boring. The pay was terrible. And I started to feel trapped. One day, I couldn't take it anymore. I marched up to Rich Dad's office and demanded a raise. This isn't fair, I said. You're not paying me enough. I want more money. Rich Dad leaned back in his chair and smiled. Ah, he said, so now you understand. Understand what? I asked, confused. You just experienced what most adults go through every day of their lives. They work hard, they get paid, but they're never satisfied. They want more. So they work harder, hoping for a raise. But no matter how much they earn, they always feel like they don't have enough. They are trapped in a cycle. And that, Robert, is the rat race. I didn't fully understand it at the time, but later, I saw it happening all around me. Most people wake up every morning and go to work. They earn a paycheck. Then they use that paycheck to pay their bills, their rent, their groceries, their car payments. When they start making more money, what do? They buy a bigger house, a nicer car, more things, and suddenly they need that higher salary just to survive. So they work even harder. They get another raise. They buy more things. And the cycle continues. They're always chasing money. But no matter how fast they run, they never feel like they have enough. That's why it's called the rat race, because people are running in circles, chasing a paycheck, but never getting ahead. And just like that, I realized something. I was about to fall into the same trap. I was demanding a higher salary, thinking that more money would solve my problem. But Rich Dad showed me that chasing a paycheck is not the way to get rich. That was the moment everything changed. So, if working for money isn't the answer, what is? I asked Rich Dad. He leaned in and said, the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. How? I asked. He pointed outside his office window. Look at my businesses. Look at my real estate investments. Look at the stocks I own. These things generate money for me, even when I'm not working. That was the biggest difference between the rich and the poor. The poor work for money. They trade their time for a paycheck. If they stop working, their money stops. The rich make money work for them. They invest in businesses, real estate, and stocks, things that generate income even when they're not working. Think about it. Most people wake up and think, I need to go to work to make money. But the rich wake up and think, how can I make my money work for me? That simple shift in thinking is what separates the rich from the poor. Rich Dad didn't just tell me to stop working for money, he showed me how to escape the rat race. Instead of focusing on getting a higher salary, he taught me to focus on building assets. What are assets? Real estate that generates rental income. Stocks that pay dividends. Businesses that earn profits even when you're not there. Intellectual property like books, courses, or patents that generate passive income. The more assets you own, the less you need a job. Because even if you stop working, your money keeps coming in. That's what financial freedom means. Most people think financial security comes from having a good job, but true security comes when you no longer need a job. That's why the rich don't work for money. They work to acquire assets that generate money for them. After that lesson, I never looked at money the same way again. Most people wake up and think, I need to go to work to make money. But the rich wake up and think, how can I invest in things that make money for me? That's why some people stay poor, no matter how much they earn. They're always working for money instead of letting money work for them. Most people think that making more money will solve their financial problems. But here's the truth. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you don't know how to manage it, you will always be broke. I've met doctors, lawyers, and highly paid professionals who make six figures a year, but they still struggle with money. Why? Because they don't understand how money works. That's why financial literacy is more important than a high income. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep, how hard your money works for you, and how many generations you can keep it for. Rich Dad explained it to me in a way I'll never forget. He said, "If you want to be rich, you must understand the difference between assets and liabilities." That's where most people get it wrong. Rich Dad picked up a piece of paper and drew two simple columns, one for assets, one for liabilities. Then he said, "The rich buy assets. The poor and middle class buy liabilities, but they think they're buying assets." That statement confused me. I asked, "But what exactly is an asset? And what is a liability?" Rich Dad smiled and said, "It's simple. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. It doesn't matter what the banks or accountants say. The only thing that matters is whether it makes you money or costs you money." Think about it. Most people believe that their house is their biggest asset. But if you're paying a mortgage every month, property taxes, maintenance costs, and other expenses, is it really an asset? Number your house is a liability because it takes money out of your pocket. Now, let's say you own a rental property. Instead of paying out money every month, that property brings in rental income. That's an asset because it puts money in your pocket. The same goes for your car. Most people buy a car and think they own an asset, but every month they have to pay for gas, insurance, maintenance, and depreciation. If it's taking money out of your pocket, it's a liability. That's where the poor and middle class get stuck. They spend their entire lives buying liabilities, a bigger house, a new car, the latest gadgets, thinking they are building wealth. But the rich focus on buying assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, things that generate money for them even when they sleep. That's the key difference between the rich and the poor. The rich invest in things that make them money. The poor spend their money on things that cost them money. And that's why financial literacy matters. If you don't know the difference between an asset and a liability, you will always struggle financially, no matter how much you earn. One day, Rich Dad took me into his office and said, "Robert, let me show you something." He pulled out a piece of paper and drew three diagrams. The first one was a simple income statement and balance sheet. On the left side, he wrote income, money coming in. On the right side, he wrote expenses, money going out. Below that, he wrote assets and liabilities. Then he showed me the cash flow pattern of the poor, the middle class, and the rich. 1. The poor person's cash flow earns money, salary, spends it all on rent, food, and bills. At the end of the month, they have nothing left. They live paycheck to paycheck, too. The middle class cash flow earns money, salary, buys a house, a car, and other nice things, pays mortgages, loans, credit card debt. At the end of the month, they have little to no savings. They are stuck in the rat race, always needing a paycheck 3. The rich person's cash flow earns money from assets, real estate, investments, businesses, uses that money to buy more assets. Their expenses are covered by their passive income. Even if they stop working, their money keeps coming in. That's when I realized the rich don't work for money. Their money works for them. While the poor and middle class focus on earning a higher salary, the rich focus on building income-generating assets. While the poor and middle class focus on earning a higher salary, the rich focus on building income-generating assets. That's why some people can work for 40 years and retire broke, while others can stop working in their 30s or 40s and still live comfortably. It's not about how much you make. It's about how you manage what you make. If you don't control your money will control you. I once asked Rich Dad, "Why don't schools teach us this?" He laughed and said, "Because the system wants you to be an employee, not an investor. Schools teach you how to get a job, but they don't teach you how to be financially free. That's why so many smart, hard-working people still struggle with money. They know how to work hard. They know how to make money, but they don't know how to keep money or grow money. That's the real reason the rich keep getting richer. They understand the rules of money, and they use those rules to their advantage. They know that. Taxes favor business owners and investors, not employees. Inflation makes saving money in the bank a losing game. Debt can make you rich if you use it to buy assets instead of liabilities. And most importantly, they know that financial education is the key to freedom. That's why Rich Dad always told me, the more you learn about money, the richer you become. If you don't understand financial literacy, you'll always be a slave to money. You'll always need a job. You'll always need a paycheck. But the moment you learn how money works, everything changes. You stop working for money. You start making money work for you. And that's the first step toward financial freedom. After learning this lesson from Rich Dad, I started looking at money differently. I stopped asking, how much can I earn? And I started asking, how can I turn this money into an asset? I stopped focusing on income and started focusing on cash flow. That small shift in thinking is what made me financially free. As we discussed in the last chapter, there's a fundamental difference between the rich and the poor in how they think about money. The poor and middle class often work for money. They exchange their time for a paycheck. They get up in the morning, go to work, do their jobs, and wait for their pay at the end of the month. It's a cycle that many people never break. But the rich think differently. They don't work for money. They make money work for them. This is what I mean when I say, mind your own business. The first thing you need to understand is that the rich focus on acquiring assets. That's the key. It's not about earning a high salary. It's about acquiring things that put money in your pocket every single month. Let me break this down a little. Most people spend their lives working hard for a paycheck. They may save a little, invest in a few things here and there, but they never truly escape the cycle. They rely on their job as their main source of income. The rich, however, focus on acquiring assets. They understand that to build wealth, they need to own things that produce income without them having to work for it. Assets are things that generate income. A simple example is real estate. If you own rental property, that property is an asset because it produces monthly income. A stock portfolio that pays dividends is an asset. A business that makes money without you having to be involved in day-to-day operations is an asset. Now, let me tell you why this is so important. When you work for money, you are exchanging your time for cash. The problem is, time is limited. You can only work for so many hours in a day, and there are only so many days in a week. What happens when you stop working? Your income stops. But with assets, income doesn't stop just because you stop working. Think about it like this. If you own a rental property and it's bringing in $1,000 a month, you don't have to work for that $1,000. You just need to manage the property and make sure everything is running smoothly. If you own a business that sells products online and the systems are automated, you can make money even while you sleep. This is what the rich understand. They focus on acquiring assets that generate passive income. They don't just earn money, they create money. Now, you might be thinking, but not everyone can afford to buy real estate or own a business. And that's a fair point. But there's something I want you to realize. The first step is to start small. You don't need to buy a multi-million-dollar property right away. You can start with something simple, like a small rental property or an online business. The key is to start building income-generating assets. Let's talk about building businesses for a moment. Most people don't think about owning a business because they think it's too complicated or too risky. They believe that being an entrepreneur means quitting their job and working 24/7 to make the business successful. But that's not true. You can start a business and gradually build it into something that generates income while you're not involved in every little task. A great example is a franchise. Franchises are businesses that have already been set up with a proven system in place. You just have to follow the system. You don't have to be involved in every step of the process. You hire people to manage the business for you, and it becomes a source of passive income. But it doesn't have to be a franchise. Many successful businesses have been started from scratch, even by people with no previous experience. For example, people start online stores selling everything from handmade jewelry to tech gadgets. The key is to create a system that generates income even when you're not actively working in the business. Building an income-generating business takes time, but it's one of the most reliable ways to ensure financial freedom. And once you have one business working for you, you can start building more. Now, let's talk about something really important: developing multiple streams of income. This is another thing the rich understand that most people don't. If you only have one source of income, say your paycheck from your job, you are at the mercy of that paycheck. What happens if you lose your job? What happens if your employer has to cut your hours or pay? You are financially vulnerable. But the rich don't rely on just one stream of income. They have multiple streams, and they develop these streams over time. Here are some examples of multiple streams of income that can help you build wealth. 1. Real estate investments. As I mentioned earlier, owning rental properties can generate passive income. But there are other ways to get involved in real estate, such as investing in REITs, real estate investment trusts, or crowdfunding real estate platforms. 2. Stocks and bonds. Investing in stocks, particularly dividend-paying stocks, can provide you with regular income. Over time, dividends can add up to a significant income stream. Third, side businesses. Maybe you start a blog, an online store, or even a small consulting business. Whatever it is, a side business can create additional income without requiring you to leave your job. 4. Royalties. If you have creative skills, you can generate income through royalties. This could be through writing a book, creating music, or producing videos. You create something once, and it keeps paying you over time. 5. Peer-to-peer lending. This is a newer concept, but it's growing in popularity. You lend money to individuals or businesses through online platforms and earn interest on your loans. 6. Online courses or ebooks. If you have expertise in a certain area, you can create an online course or write an ebook. Once the product is created, you can sell it to many people without having to be involved in every transaction. The key to building multiple streams of income is to start small and keep reinvesting. Once you begin generating income from one source, reinvest that money into other assets. Over time, those assets will grow and compound, giving you more and more income. Let's take a moment to talk about reinvestment, because it's a critical part of growing your wealth. The rich understand the power of reinvesting their income. Instead of spending their earnings on things that depreciate, like cars, clothes, or vacations, they put that money back into their businesses, stocks, real estate, and other assets. Reinvestment is what allows the rich to keep growing their wealth. Let's say you make $5,000 in passive income from your rental properties. Instead of going on a shopping spree, you reinvest that $5,000 into purchasing another property. Now, you have 2 income-generating assets instead of just 1. If you keep doing this, reinvesting your profits over time, you will create an exponential increase in your wealth. The key is to be patient and disciplined. Now, if you want to become financially free, it's crucial to understand one thing: how taxes work. You see, taxes are not just a part of life. They're a tool, and depending on how you use them, they can either help you build wealth or keep you stuck in the rat race. Most people, especially the poor and middle class, don't understand this. They work hard for their money, they pay taxes, and then they spend the rest just trying to survive. But the rich? They've figured out how to make taxes work for them, not against them. So, let me take you through a little history lesson about taxes and how the rich use this knowledge to protect and grow their wealth. Taxes were designed for one reason: to collect money from the population to fund government programs. But over time, the way taxes are applied has changed. For the majority of people, taxes are a burden. They take a portion of your income and leave you with less to save or invest. Whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, or a construction worker, the tax system is structured to take money from your paycheck before you even see it. This is what I call the income tax trap. It's the tax system that affects the poor and middle class the most. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're an employee working a regular job. You earn your salary, and right away, the government takes a percentage in taxes. So, by the time you get your paycheck, you're already behind. You have less to work with, and that leaves you with fewer options to build wealth. Now, contrast that with the rich. The rich don't earn money from a paycheck. Instead, they make money from assets, investments, real estate, and businesses. And guess what? The money they earn from these sources is taxed very differently. For example, when you sell a stock or a property for a profit, that's considered capital gains, and it's taxed at a much lower rate than ordinary income. This is how the rich manage to keep a larger portion of their earnings. In short, the poor and middle class get taxed on their income, while the rich get taxed on their profits. This difference is huge, but there's more. The rich don't just earn money from assets. They also use something very powerful to protect and grow their wealth: corporations. You see, a corporation is not just a business structure. It's a legal entity that allows you to do things you can't do as an individual. It's a tool for tax savings, asset protection, and increasing cash flow. When you run a business through a corporation, the government treats the corporation as a separate entity. This means the corporation pays taxes, not you as an individual. And the corporation gets all kinds of advantages. For example, when a corporation buys something, whether it's a car, a computer, or even a home office, it can deduct these expenses from its taxable income. So, instead of paying taxes on all the profits, the corporation reduces its taxable income by subtracting its business expenses. This is why the rich use corporations to protect their wealth. They can write off their expenses, reduce their taxable income, and protect their assets from lawsuits. If someone sues the corporation, they're not suing the individual, they're suing the business. When you run your business through a corporation, you can also accumulate wealth without paying taxes immediately. This is a huge advantage over working for someone else, where every dollar you earn is taxed before you even see it. And if you own a corporation, you can reinvest the profits back into the business without being taxed immediately. This allows your wealth to grow exponentially, something employees can't do. This is why the rich aren't just business owners, they're corporate owners. They use the corporation's structure to shield their wealth, save on taxes, and create opportunities to reinvest their earnings. Let's talk more about how understanding taxes and legal financial structures can benefit you. Most people think taxes are something you can't control. They think that once you make money, you have to pay taxes, and that's that. But the truth is, there are many legal ways to minimize your tax liability, if you know the rules. The first step is understanding that there are different tax brackets for different kinds of income. Wages, salaries, and bonuses are taxed as ordinary income, meaning you'll pay a higher percentage of tax on them. On the other hand, income generated through businesses and investments is often taxed at a lower rate. So, if you're just working for a paycheck, you're likely paying the highest taxes. But if you're earning income from investments, real estate, or a business, you're taxed at a lower rate. Now, this doesn't mean you have to quit your job and start a business right away. But it's important to understand that by becoming an investor, you can legally take advantage of tax advantages that employees can't. Let's say you start a small business. You don't even have to make a lot of money. But by starting a business, you immediately open up a world of tax deductions. You can deduct the costs of things you're already spending money on, like your home office, your car, your phone, even your meals if you're meeting clients. These are all business expenses, and by running your business through a corporation, you can write these expenses off and reduce your taxable income. This is why the rich use corporations. They use these deductions to lower their tax bill and keep more money for themselves. Corporations also give you legal protection. If you own real estate or have assets, you want to protect them from lawsuits. By setting up a corporation or limited liability company, LLC, you can separate your personal assets from your business assets. In the previous chapter, we discussed how understanding taxes and using corporations can help the rich grow their wealth. Now, let's dive into one of the most important concepts in financial education, the power of creating wealth. One of the biggest differences between the rich and the poor is their ability to invent money. Most people believe that in order to become wealthy, you need to have money to start with. They think you need a lot of savings, a big inheritance, or a rich family to get ahead. But the rich know that money can be created. This is a fundamental shift in thinking. The rich don't just work for money. They create opportunities that allow money to flow to them. They invent ways to make money that others don't even see. And this all starts with financial education. Financial education isn't just about understanding how money works. It's about recognizing opportunities when they come your way. You see, when you have financial education, you begin to think differently about money. You stop seeing money as something that's hard to get and start seeing it as something that's abundant and accessible, if you know where to look. Let me give you an example. I was walking with my rich dad one day when we came across an old, run-down building. It was a mess, boarded-up windows, broken doors, and graffiti all over the walls. Most people would have walked right past it, assuming it was a waste of space. But my rich dad looked at that building and saw an opportunity. He saw a potential that others couldn't see. He didn't see an eyesore. He saw a property that could be bought, renovated, and turned into a profitable business. It wasn't about having a lot of money to buy that building. It was about recognizing the opportunity, understanding how to finance it, and using his knowledge to make it profitable. When you have financial education, you start to see the opportunities others miss. You don't need to be rich to take advantage of these opportunities. What you need is the ability to see potential and the skills to turn that potential into profit. Now, let's talk about risk. Most people are afraid of risk. They avoid it because they think it will lead to failure. But for the rich, risk is not something to fear. It's something to manage. Rich people don't take blind risks. They take calculated risks. Risks where they understand the potential downside, have a plan for handling it, and believe that the rewards outweigh the risks. Think about investing in real estate. Let's say you want to buy a property that's underpriced, but requires some renovations. Most people would shy away from this because it feels risky. But the rich know that if they do their research, understand the market, and know what the property is worth after repairs, they can take that risk with confidence. They're not taking a blind leap. They're using their financial knowledge to make a calculated decision. This is where many people go wrong. They take risks without understanding the consequences. They dive into investments or businesses without doing the proper research or without knowing how to manage their risk. But the rich understand that calculated risk is the key to growth. They don't wait for the perfect opportunity. They create opportunities and take calculated risks to turn them into profitable ventures. Let's break it down a bit more. There are two main ways the rich create wealth: investments and businesses. For the rich, investing isn't about putting money into something and hoping it grows. It's about using their knowledge to find the right investment, whether it's real estate, stocks, or other assets, and making it grow. Take real estate, for example. The rich don't just buy property, they buy income-generating property. They focus on buying properties that will provide a steady cash flow, like rental properties. These properties don't just appreciate in value over time, they generate monthly income. The rich also invest in stocks, but not in the way most people do. They invest in businesses and dividend-producing stocks. They understand how businesses work, and they know how to evaluate a company's potential for growth. They don't just buy shares. They buy into companies that will continue to grow and pay them dividends. But the rich don't just invest in assets that generate cash flow. They also use businesses to create wealth. Starting a business is one of the most powerful ways to create wealth. When you own a business, you have the ability to control your income. You're not at the mercy of an employer or a paycheck. You're the one creating the opportunities. In fact, many of the world's wealthiest people made their fortunes through business ownership. Whether it's real estate, tech, or retail, they created a business that generated wealth for them, and that's how they built their empire. You see, the rich invent money by finding opportunities, taking calculated risks, and creating wealth through investments in businesses. They don't wait for money to fall into their lap. They make it happen. They use their financial education to create the opportunities that others don't even see. This ability to invent money is what separates the rich from the poor. The poor focus on saving money. The rich focus on creating opportunities to make money work for them. And the best part? Anyone can learn this. You don't need to be born into wealth. You just need to learn how money works, how to spot opportunities, and how to take calculated risks. By investing in your financial education, you can start inventing your own money. You can create opportunities that lead to wealth, whether through real estate, stocks, or starting your own business. Most people go through life following a simple formula: go to school, get good grades, graduate, and find a secure job with a good salary. That's what we're taught. And for many, that formula seems to work. They get a job, they earn a paycheck, and they feel safe because they have a steady income. But here's what most people don't realize. A paycheck doesn't make you rich. Skills do. The biggest mistake employees make is working just for money. They spend years, even decades, chasing a paycheck, without ever taking the time to develop the skills that can actually set them free. The rich understand this. They don't work just to make money. They work to learn. If you want to become truly wealthy, you need to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a student of life. You need to focus on developing the right skills, the kind of skills that will allow you to create wealth, build businesses, and take control of your financial future. Most people believe that the key to success is working harder and earning more money. They think that if they can just get a raise, find a better job, or work more hours, they'll eventually become rich. But that's not how wealth is built. If you look at the richest people in the world, you'll notice something interesting. They don't get rich by working harder. They get rich by working smarter. And the way they do that is by developing high-income skills. What are high-income skills? These are the skills that allow you to make money work for you. They are the skills that allow you to create businesses, manage investments, and seize opportunities when they arise. Let me give you an example. Imagine two employees working in the same company. One is focused only on doing their job well. They show up on time, complete their tasks, and wait for their paycheck. The other employee, however, is different. They don't just focus on their job. They observe how the business operates. They pay attention to how the company makes money, how the sales team works, and how marketing strategies are executed. Over time, this second employee develops skills beyond just their daily tasks. They learn about sales, leadership, finance, and strategy. And one day, when the opportunity comes, they leave their job and start their own business, using the knowledge they gained. This is the difference between people who stay employees for life and those who become financially free. The key is to focus on learning, not just earning. If you ask me what the most important skills are for becoming financially successful, I'd say three things: sales, marketing, and leadership. Let's talk about sales first. Most people hate the idea of selling. They think sales is about being pushy or trying to convince people to buy something they don't need. But that's not true. Sales is the ability to communicate value. If you don't know how to sell, you'll struggle in business. You might have a great product, a great idea, or a great service, but if you can't convince people to buy it, you won't make money. Sales is not just about selling products. It's about selling yourself. Whether you're applying for a job, negotiating a deal, or pitching an idea, you need to know how to sell. The richest people in the world are great salespeople, not because they trick people, but because they know how to present value in a way that makes others want to buy. Next, let's talk about marketing. Marketing is how you attract opportunities. It's the ability to create demand for what you offer. If sales is about closing deals, marketing is about getting people interested in the first place. Most people don't realize this, but everything is marketing. A job interview? That's marketing yourself. A business trying to get customers? That's marketing. Even a politician trying to get votes? That's marketing too. If you don't understand marketing, you'll always struggle to make money, because money follows attention. The more people who know about you or your business, the more opportunities you'll have to make money. And finally, let's talk about leadership. Leadership is not about being the boss or telling people what to do. Leadership is about taking responsibility for your future. It's about learning how to make decisions, manage risk, and inspire others to work toward a common goal. The richest people in the world didn't get there by working alone. They built teams, started businesses, and led people toward success. If you want to become wealthy, you have to learn how to lead, not just to others, but yourself. These three skills, sales, marketing, and leadership, are what separate those who struggle financially from those who achieve financial freedom. If you learn these skills, you'll never have to rely on a paycheck again. At the end of the day, money is just a tool. It's not something you chase. It's something you attract by providing value. And the best way to provide value is to educate yourself. The more you learn about how money works, how businesses operate, and how the rich think, the more opportunities you'll start to see around you. Financial education is what allows you to make smart decisions, take advantage of opportunities, and avoid financial traps. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two people both receive a $10,000 bonus at work. The first person, with no financial education, spends the money on a new car, new clothes, and a vacation. In a few months, the money is gone. The second person, who has financial knowledge, invests the money. They put some of it into real estate, some into stocks, and some into starting a small business. Over time, that $10,000 grows into $50,000. This is why financial knowledge is the key to wealth. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you understand about money. The people who succeed financially are not the ones with the highest salaries. They are the ones who know how to use money wisely. They understand how to make money work for them, instead of always working for money. And the best part? You don't need a degree to learn this. You don't need to go to school for years or take expensive courses. You just need to start paying attention, reading books, learning from successful people, and developing the right skills. Because once you learn how to make money work for you, you'll never have to worry about a paycheck again. One of the biggest reasons people struggle financially isn't because they lack money or opportunities. It's because they allow obstacles to stop them. Even people who understand financial education, who know the importance of investing, and who dream of becoming financially free, many of them never take action. Why? Because they get stuck. They let certain mental and emotional roadblocks hold them back. There are 5 major obstacles that prevent people from achieving financial success. 1. Fear. 2. Cynicism. 3. Laziness. 4. Bad habits. 5. Arrogance. These 5 things are the biggest reasons why most people never escape the rat race. If you want to achieve financial freedom, you have to learn how to overcome these obstacles. 1. Fear. Fear is one of the biggest killers of financial success. And the number one fear people have when it comes to money? The fear of losing it. Most people are terrified of making mistakes. They're afraid to invest because they might lose money. They're afraid to start a business because they might fail. They're afraid to take risks because they don't want to look stupid. But here's the truth. Fear will always be there. The difference between the rich and the poor is how they handle fear. Rich people don't let fear stop them. They still feel fear, but they take action anyway. They understand that failure is part of the process. Think about a baby learning to walk. When they fall, do they stop trying? They get back up and try again. That's how they learn. That's how they grow stronger. But adults? When they fail, they take it personally. They say, "What if I lose all my money? What if I look stupid? What if I make a mistake?" The rich don't ask, "What if I fail?" They ask, "What can I learn from this?" That's the difference. Everyone fails. The key is to fail forward, to learn from your mistakes, adjust your strategy, and keep moving forward. 2. Cynicism. Cynicism is the voice in your head that says, "It won't work." It's the negativity that makes people doubt opportunities, question success, and hesitate when it's time to take action. You've probably heard people say things like, "Investing is too risky," "The stock market is a scam," "Only the rich get richer." These are all forms of cynicism. And the problem with cynicism is that it stops people from even trying. I've seen so many people let doubt and negativity kill their dreams before they even start. Instead of doing research, instead of learning, they immediately reject ideas because they sound too good to be true. Cynicism usually comes from fear or lack of knowledge. People who don't understand something tend to dismiss it. Instead of learning, they assume it won't work. The rich don't do this. Instead of saying, "It won't work," they ask, "How does it work?" Instead of saying, "That's a scam," they ask, "What do successful people know that I don't?" That simple shift in mindset makes all the difference. 3. Laziness. Most people don't think they're lazy. They say they're too busy. But being busy doesn't mean being productive. Many people use busyness as an excuse to avoid doing the things that really matter. They say, "I'm too busy to learn about investing. I don't have time to start a side business. I'll do it later when I have more time." But the truth is, they're avoiding what's uncomfortable. Successful people understand that you have to make time for what's important. If you're too busy to learn about money, then you'll always struggle with money. If you're too busy to build wealth, then you'll always be stuck in the rat race. The rich don't let laziness stop them. They find ways to stay productive. Instead of watching TV for hours, they read books. Instead of scrolling through social media, they look for investment opportunities. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference is how you use it. 4. Bad habits. Success is not about what you do once. It's about what you do consistently. Most people fail financially because they have bad money habits. They spend before they save. They buy liabilities instead of assets. They live paycheck to paycheck because they don't budget. One of the most common bad habits? Not paying yourself first. Most people earn money and immediately spend it on bills, rent, food, and entertainment. Whatever is left, they might save. But by then, there's nothing left to save. The rich do the opposite. They pay themselves first. Before they spend on anything else, they invest a portion of their income into assets. They build wealth first, and then live on what's left. If you want to be financially successful, you have to replace bad money habits with good ones. Start small. Save a percentage of your income before you pay your bills. Invest regularly, even if it's just a small amount. Learn about money every single day. Success is built on small, daily actions. The more good habits you develop, the easier wealth becomes. 5. Arrogance. The last big obstacle? Arrogance. Arrogance is thinking you already know everything. It's refusing to learn because you think you're too smart, too experienced, or too successful to listen. Many people fail financially because they reject advice. They assume they know better. I've seen this happen so many times. Someone gets a little bit of money and suddenly they think they're a financial expert. They stop listening to advice, they stop learning, and they make reckless decisions. The rich stay humble. They keep learning. They surround themselves with smarter people. They ask questions, seek mentors, and always look for ways to improve. If you want to be financially successful, never assume you know everything. Always be willing to learn, grow, and adapt. These 5 obstacles, fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance, are what hold most people back from financial freedom. The good news? You can overcome all of them. Fear can be managed. Cynicism can be replaced with curiosity. Laziness can be turned into productivity. Bad habits can be replaced with good ones. And arrogance can be replaced with a willingness to learn. The only thing standing between you and financial success isn't money. It's your mindset. Now that you understand the biggest obstacles to financial success, the next step is simple: getting started. Most people don't take action because they think they need more time, more money, or more knowledge before they begin. But the truth is, waiting won't change anything. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is now. If you want to become financially free, you have to take action. But where do you start? What are the first steps? In this chapter, I'll share the practical steps to begin your journey to financial independence, how to develop the mindset of the rich, and how to apply everything you've learned. Step 1. Commit to financial education. The first step to becoming rich isn't making money. It's learning about money. Most people spend years studying subjects in school, but they never take the time to study money. They work hard their entire lives without truly understanding how money works. That's why so many people struggle financially. The rich don't just work for money. They learn how to make money work for them. If you want to be rich, start by educating yourself. Read books about investing, attend seminars, and listen to financial experts. Make it a habit to study money every day. Read at least one financial book a month. Follow successful investors and learn from their experiences. Surround yourself with people who understand wealth and business. The more you understand money, the more money you'll make. Step 2. Change your mindset about money. Your mindset controls your financial future. If you think like the poor, you'll stay poor. If you think like the rich, you'll become rich. Poor people say, "I can't afford it. That's too risky. Money is evil." Rich people say, "How can I afford it? How can I make this work?" Money is a tool for freedom. The way you think about money determines how you handle money. If you see money as something that's hard to get, you'll always struggle. But if you see money as a tool to create opportunities, you'll start making smarter financial decisions. Start asking yourself the right questions. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," ask, "What can I do to afford this?" Instead of saying, "I'm not good with money," ask, "How can I get better?" Your mindset is your most powerful asset. Train it. Step 3. Focus on building assets, not just income. One of the biggest mistakes people make is focusing only on income instead of assets. Most people think that getting a higher salary is the key to wealth. But no matter how much you earn, if you don't invest in assets, you'll always be stuck in the rat race. Assets are things that make you money, even when you're not working. Examples of assets: rental properties that generate passive income, stocks that pay dividends, businesses that make money without you working every day. Intellectual property like books or online courses. The poor work for money. The rich build assets that work for them. Every time you earn money, don't just spend it. Invest it in assets. Even if you start small, keep building. Over time, your assets will grow and give you financial freedom. Step 4. Start small and take action. Now, most people think they need a lot of money to start investing, but that's not true. The most important thing is to start, even if it's small. You don't need millions to start investing in stocks. You don't need a huge amount of capital to start a business. Many successful investors started with very little money, but they took action. Ways to start small. Invest a small amount in stocks or real estate. Start a side business with minimal capital. Save and reinvest your money instead of spending it. The biggest mistake is waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The best way to learn is by doing. The rich don't wait for opportunities. They create them. Step 5. Learn to take smart risks. Being rich isn't about avoiding risks. It's about taking smart, calculated risks. Most people avoid risks because they're afraid of failure. But failure is part of success. The key is to learn from mistakes and make better decisions over time. Smart risks mean educating yourself before investing. Don't jump in blindly. Starting small. Don't risk everything at once. Diversifying. Don't put all your money in one place. Rich people manage risks instead of avoiding them. They understand that every investment has risks, but they learn how to control and minimize those risks. If you want to grow, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Step 6. Surround yourself with the right people. Your financial success is influenced by the people you spend time with. If you surround yourself with people who are always broke, complaining about money and blaming others for their problems, you'll develop the same mindset. But if you spend time with people who are financially successful, who think about investments, and who focus on growth, you'll start thinking like them. The rich network with successful people. They find mentors, learn from experts, and build relationships with people who challenge them to grow. If you want to be rich, find people who are already where you want to be. Learn from them. Step 7. Keep learning and adapting. The world is always changing. The economy shifts, new opportunities arise, and industries evolve. If you stop learning, you'll fall behind. The rich never stop learning. They stay updated on financial trends. They adapt to new opportunities. They keep improving their skills. Success isn't about what you know now. It's about your ability to keep learning. Read, ask questions, attend seminars, and always look for ways to grow. The more you learn, the more opportunities you'll find. Final thoughts on getting started. Most people wait to take action. They wait until they have more money, more time, or more confidence. But waiting doesn't change anything. The rich take action, even when they're not ready. They start small, make mistakes, learn from experience, and keep going. If you want to change your financial future, don't just listen to this lesson. Apply it. Start today, even if it's just one small step. Educate yourself, build assets, take smart risks, surround yourself with successful people. Keep learning. Success doesn't happen overnight, but every step you take brings you closer to financial freedom. If you've made it this far, you already have the foundation of financial education. You understand the importance of financial literacy, building assets, overcoming fear, and taking action. But learning about money never stops. The rich never stop improving their financial intelligence because money is constantly changing. The economy shifts, new investments appear, and financial strategies evolve. If you don't keep learning, you'll fall behind. So, what should you do next? How can you continue to grow your financial knowledge and take your journey to the next level? In this chapter, I'll give you practical steps to continue your financial education and become even better at managing, growing, and protecting your wealth. Step 1. Commit to lifelong learning. The rich don't rely on what they learned in school because the school system doesn't teach financial education. Instead, they commit to lifelong learning. Make financial education a daily habit. Every day, do something that increases your financial knowledge. Here's how. Read one financial book per month. Books contain years of experience from experts who have already figured things out. Learning from them can save you years of mistakes. Listen to podcasts or audiobooks. Instead of wasting time on entertainment, listen to experts talk about money, business, and investing. Watch financial news and market updates. Stay informed about changes in the economy, inflation, interest rates, and investment opportunities. Education doesn't stop when you graduate. It stops when you choose to stop learning. The difference between the rich and the poor is that the rich never stop learning. Step 2. Take immediate action. Reading and learning are important, but without action, they mean nothing. The real learning happens when you apply what you know. If you've never invested before, start now. If you've never built an asset, take the first step. Even if you start small, what matters is that you begin. If you want to invest in real estate, start researching properties and talking to real estate investors. If you want to start a business, take the first step. Whether it's building a product, creating a website, or finding your first customer. If you want to improve your financial discipline, set a budget and start tracking your expenses. The biggest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is action. The rich act on their ideas, while the poor hesitate and make excuses. Stop waiting. Start doing. Step 3. Build a network of like-minded people. If you surround yourself with broke people, you will think and act like them. If you surround yourself with rich, smart, and successful people, you will start thinking and acting like them. Look for people who are serious about financial success. Find a mentor, join a business group, or connect with investors who share the same goals as you. Attend networking events, real estate seminars, and financial workshops. Join online communities where people discuss investments and business strategies. Find a mentor, someone who has already achieved what you want to achieve. Rich people build strong financial networks because success is not just about what you know, it's about who you know. Step 4. Strengthen your financial discipline. Success isn't just about making money, it's also about managing it well. Many people earn a lot but stay broke because they spend everything they make. If you want to be rich, you need discipline. Follow these key money habits. Live below your means. Just because you earn more doesn't mean you should spend more. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Save and invest before spending. Pay yourself first, meaning put money into your investments before spending on luxuries. Avoid bad debt. Not all debt is bad, but consumer debt, like credit card debt, keeps you trapped in financial struggles. Use debt wisely for investments, not liabilities. Building wealth isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and grow. Step 5. Expand your sources of income. The poor have one source of income, usually a job. The rich have multiple streams of income. If you want financial freedom, you need to build different sources of income. Here are a few ways to do that. Start investing in stocks that pay dividends. Buy rental properties that generate passive income. Build an online business that runs even when you're not working. Create digital products like books or courses that sell automatically. Wealthy people don't rely on just one source of money. If one income stream fails, they have others to support them. That's why they never go broke. The key to financial security is to diversify your income. Step 6. Understand taxes and protect your wealth. One of the biggest mistakes people make is not understanding taxes. The rich don't just make money, they learn how to protect it using tax advantages and legal financial structures. They use corporations to lower their taxes. They invest in real estate because of tax benefits. They know how to use business expenses to reduce their taxable income. If you don't educate yourself on taxes, you will lose a big part of your wealth to the government. Hire a good accountant, learn tax strategies, and protect your money. Step 7. Keep adapting and innovating. The financial world is always changing. The investments that worked 20 years ago may not work today. That's why the rich always adapt. They watch economic trends and make smart adjustments. They learn about new investment opportunities before the general public does. They stay ahead of the game by continuously improving their financial strategies. Most people stick to old financial habits and wonder why they're struggling. The rich stay flexible and open to new ideas. If you want to stay ahead financially, you have to keep evolving. Final steps to take right now. If you truly want to be financially free, don't just listen to this lesson. Apply it. Here's what you should do immediately. 1. Pick one financial book to read this month. 2. Set a goal to start your first investment. Even if it's small, take the first step. 3. Find a mentor or financial group to learn from. 4. Track your expenses and start budgeting. 5. Build one new income stream within the next year. Most people never take action because they think they need to know everything first. But the best way to learn is by doing. The end. I hope you enjoy listening. Thank you. Please wait for my next upload.